Okay, this is 1980 GL1100, and it's a little rough. It doesn't idle properly, and I'm guessing that the carbs need syncing. The carbs were out of the bike, and I cleaned those out and completely overhauled them. So they're probably out of sync. It's totally cold now. It's like something like maybe 3 degrees Celsius outside. So let's see if we can get it started. Right away. Okay, we let it warm up a little bit because it doesn't like to idle even. So let's get back to this. Okay, it's now warm, so a little bit smoky also, but it's warm, so it's a little bit nicer to work on it because it's really still a little bit cold here outside. But anyway, we need to sync the carbs next. And I used to have this self-made thing that I used for the synchronization. But the issue with the Goldwing is that you need to have these 5mm threads or adapters with 5mm thread in order to attach these to the carbs, and I didn't have those. So what I did was I ordered actually a completely new set from the internet. It didn't cost much, so let's try this out. Okay, so first you need to remove these screws from the intake. So there are one for each, and then you simply adjust the carbs with these screws. So this is the main carburetor, number 3. You cannot adjust this one. Instead you adjust all the rest so that they match this one. So this is number 1, then there is number 2, this is 3 and 4. So this screw is to adjust the number 1 carburetor, so we do that first to match this one, and then from the other side of the bike here we use this one to adjust the number 2 carburetor to match the number 4 carburetor, and then finally this one adjusts this bank, these 2 carburetors, so that they match the bike on the right side of the bike, or the carburetor bank on the right side of the bike. So let's then remove these nuts, and then also let's install the new thing. Okay, so this set contains these adapters with 6mm threads and 5mm threads. I think this is 6 also, so we will use these ones. Let's take one and test it. So they have an O-ring, and you just tighten these by hand. They don't need to be like, you don't have to use any force, just make it snug. Okay, so I'll put the rest on also. Okay, next we will attach these rubber tubes to these adapters, and let's do so that. Okay, now my rightmost meter is the cylinder number 3. Yeah, like so, and then this one is the cylinder number 1. I don't bother to mark those because it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, and the same to the other side. I'm actually kind of anxious to see how far off the sink is, because I'm pretty sure it's pretty bad. Okay, we are all done. So let's see. And let's turn it on. They are actually surprisingly close. Let's adjust the idle a little bit higher. It doesn't run on all fours. it doesn't run on all fours all the time, so let's give it some time and let it properly heat up. Okay, now it is almost running properly, so it's important that you let it warm to the proper operating temperature before attempting this. So now we can see that here is the number 3. It is showing something like maybe 22, 23, and number 1 is showing just over 20. So let's sync these two. And what we need to do is, okay, let's switch it off. So we need to first loosen this lug nut, and then we can take a Phillips screwdriver and adjust this one. So let's do that. Okay, so it was 8mm wrench that fit there, and let's start it again. We can see that loosening the lug nut actually changed these values, so let's try now. Right there. And now the other two. These are actually quite close, but yeah, this number 2 is still a little bit, well, I don't know. They are quite close, but as you can see, they are not matching the right hand side bank, so let's try to make them match, and that happens with this screw here. So let's see, and it's really important that you don't press your screwdriver when you are adjusting the screw, because it's very delicate. Okay, let's see. This is the so I'm turning it counterclockwise now. They are actually getting pretty close, and you can even hear that the motor is running a little bit more smoothly now. Yeah, that was pretty easy actually. I think it's almost perfect now. Let's try this one. Let's give it a little. Let's try to bring the idle a little bit down. I think it should be around 950. Yeah, pretty good. It smells a little bit rich still, but there might be some tweaking still required with the air mixture screws. I think they are set 2.5 turns out. But yeah, I'm happy with it now. So let's see what happens after I tighten the lock nuts. I will keep the screws in place with my screwdriver, and at the same time I will tighten the lock nuts. So let's see if it affects the values here. Okay, let's see now. They are all tightened down. Could you focus? Yeah. Doesn't seem to want to idle. Okay, so managed to do it. Finally. I had to, at the same time, like after turning the Phillips screw, I had to also close the lug nut. And this is an old bike, and all the screws are old and worn, and also somebody has painted this with some kind of silver paint, so it doesn't help. But anyway, now it's in tune, and it's quite okay. Also noticed that the heater fan is also turning on, so that's quite nice. I haven't tried this bike ever before this, so I haven't driven a meter with this bike yet. But now it seems to be okay. Great. Thanks. Let's try it one more time after letting it cool a bit. So the meter is still on. Let's see what it does.